Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Data Science Nerd. So today we are going to discuss about SQL databases, where we will discuss like how can we create tables, how can we delete tables, how to insert data into the tables. All these things we will discuss today, okay? So before going to that our main topic, first we will see like yesterday I wrote one topic about data models, and so today we will see first the basics of it, okay? So for example, let's say we have a table 1, okay? We have table 1, table 2, table 3, table 4. Okay, let's say 4 tables are there. Now let's say this table is about employee name and employee number. Okay, so let's say it contains employee ID and employee name. Okay, now this contains salary details, date of birth, location. Okay, this table contains, let's say, expenditure of employees. Okay, the allowance that he is getting or she is getting. And let's say this table contains some personal details of employees. Let's say there are 4 tables we have. Okay, but the thing is there is one common column in it, which is employee ID, because based on which we are filtering our data. So let's say we want to join all these tables. Okay, so let's say 1 is joined to 2, 2 is joined to 3, 3 is joined to 4. So joins I will discuss later, but I am just giving an overview how this data schema works. So let's say all these tables I have joined, okay, based on a primary key, which is employee ID. So once you join all these tables based on some primary key, so can you see that there are multiple tables which are interconnected to each other? Okay, and based on which we are fetching our data. So this is nothing but complete data schema. Okay, but when you will work like in an industrial level, how will you see it? There we will get a complete data pipelines. Okay, so what are data pipelines? Let's say in a database there are multiple tables present. Okay, let's say there might be 50 to 100 tables also. Okay, so let's say there are multiple tables here present. Okay, now see, there when we will work in industrial layer, we will get a source layer. Okay, source table. So what this source table is? So this source table is source for all the tables. Okay, from here the data will start. Okay, now the output of this data will become the input of this. Okay, the output of this data will become the input of this. That means when you will create this table, this second table, this data, this second table will take complete data from table 1. Okay, this second table will take complete data from table 1, and you can perform here transformation means, let's say we got all the data into our second table, okay, from the source table. So what will here you will do, you will transform the data. Let's say we want, or let's say employee ID is present in the source table. Okay, and in transform layer what we get is we want only those employee ID who are less than 25 years of age. This is the data that we want, for example. Okay, so what we will do here, we will perform transformation based on our requirement from the source layer. Then the output of this table will feed to the input of third table. Okay, then the output of this table feed to that output of fourth table. So this chain will go on up to the final table that we want. So let's say for those who are working in data analytics field, they might be know, who have worked on some data visualization tool. Okay, so at when you work on a data visualization tool, so let's say this is our final table that we have made. Okay, from source layer the whole data pipeline is coming, and this is our final table that we got. So let's say in our data visualization tool, let's say Power BI, Tableau, ClickSense, Informatica, anything, any BI tool. So when we feed our final table to our BI tool, okay, what we will get? We will get some transform data, right? It starts from source layer and goes on. So when you will feed that data, so while making connection of your BI tool to the database, it will make connection to the whole database. Okay, but we will feed only the final table from where we are getting our transform data. So like these pipelines will work. Okay, the output of one table will feed to the input of second table, then output of second table will feed to the input of third table. Like that the chain goes on. Okay, so these are data pipelines and these are data schema where we are using joins. Okay, so this is just for an overview purpose I gave you. So now we will move towards like our topic, like how we can create table or drop table, delete table. So let's say we want to create table. Let's say sales table is there. Okay, so create table. So how to create a table? First, see, we will write in this format: create table, then table name, which is sales table. Now what is now we will write the column name. What are the variables that we are going to give? So let's say we want the first as salesman name. So we will write column name, then we will write the type of it. So salesman type is text type. Okay. Now let's say sales ID is there. Sales ID is nothing but integer type. Okay. Now let's say sales amount is there. So sales amount will be integer type. Okay. So let's say I run this query. So what is the format? Create table name, column name, then column data type. Column name, column data type, column name, column data type. Then I will run this query. See, query executed successfully. Can you see this sales table created here? Now let's say I will first comment this. Okay. Now let's say I want to select query from our table sales. Select all from sales. Now let's see. Query executed suddenly, however the result set is empty. So why the result set is empty? Because I have created all the columns, but I have not given any data into the columns. Okay, there is no data present inside it. That's why it is saying as result set is empty. Okay, so now let's say I want to drop this table. So you know what the drop does? So drop completely removes the existing table. So let's say drop table and table name. Okay, drop table and table name. Can you see sales table is here? Now if I run this query, see sales table is gone, right? So it will delete like complete schema of the table. It will remove the table completely. Okay, this is what uh, this drop function does. Now we have a truncate function also. Okay, so here truncate is not an inbuilt function, but still I will tell you like what truncate does. So once you will do truncate table sales, so this query will not run because this compiler is not accepting truncate as a inbuilt function. That's why syntax error. Otherwise, if you run on your workbench, it will work. So what does this truncate table does? Are you aware of it? So it will like it truncate table is used to delete the data inside the table. Okay, it will delete the data inside the table, but it will not delete the schema of the table. The column name will still present. It will delete only the data inside the table. Okay, but the schema of the table will still remain. Have you got my point? Okay, now we will move to our next. Now let's say we have an existing table. Okay, let's say customary table is there, right? So let's say I want to add one more column in this table, but this table is already existing, right? So if you want to add another column in the existing table, what I will do? I will use alter table, then table name. Then let's say I want to add a column. So what I will do? Add. See, add is not an inbuilt function here, but I will still show you how we can use it. Add column name. Column name means let's say I want to add zip code and data type integer. Okay, so you run on this, you will run on this your workbench, it will work. Here add is not taking as an inbuilt function. So what it will do is, the format of it is alter table, table name, then add column name and data type. So what it will do, it will add another column in this customer existing customer table as zip code, and the type of data type will be integer. Okay, now let's say I want to alter this table, customer table, and I want to drop this country. So what I will do, or let's say age I want to drop. So I will use drop age integer. Okay, now if I run this query, okay, it is already given. See, now age is drop. Okay, since that I was giving integer, but it was already predefined as age as integer. Okay, so when it is already predefined, you don't need to give data type. So what it does, it has removed column age. See, now column age is gone from customer table. Okay, now we will move to our next. So are you aware of like what are constraint in SQL? So I will tell you. So constraint basically are used. So let's say we want to specify some rules or define our rules. So it is used to define some rules for the data in a table. Okay. So what are the type of constraints? You people might be aware of some constraints, like let's say not null. There is a constraint not null. So what does the not null does? So once you put this constraint on a particular column, it will ensures that it will return only those values for that particular column which values are not null. Okay, that values must contain some data. Okay, now there is a constraint named unique. So what does this unique does? It ensures that the column which we are like using this constraint, right, it will ensure that there will be only unique values. Okay, all the columns are different, all the values in a particular column should be different, it will ensure this. Now what is primary key? Primary key is also constraint. So see, primary key is nothing but a combination of not null plus unique. That means it must, primary key must not be null. So this is a like very important condition. You must people remember these conditions, because if you are basic and you are learning these basics and you are going for an interview, right? So these questions are like primarily asked in interviews for freshers or for those who are having only 1 or 2 years of experience. So primary key is nothing but it is a combination of not null and unique. So when you are defining any primary key, it must contain all values as unique, and it must not contain any value as null. Okay, now let's say there is a constraint named default. So what does this default constraint does? So let's say we have a column, and in a column there are no values defined. Okay, in that column there is no some, in some columns there are no values defined. So what this default will work, it will set a default value, whatever default value will give, it will set a default value if no value is given. Okay, so these are some constraints also. So once I will discuss this joining condition, right, I will discuss this primary key and foreign key in detail. This is I am giving you like some basics I am discussing right now, but once you will go to joins, you will all these create tables, clauses, operators, everything you will use in joins. So let's say some functions also I will discuss. So we have a, let's say we have a function delete, you have already seen yesterday. Okay, so let's say you might be aware of these function min, max, count, average, sum. Okay, so let's say we have, so I will first comment it. So let's say I want, so here see what are the fields are given. So order table, okay, here amount is given. Okay, so let's say I want select max. This compiler is not good actually, because here it is not taking many inbuilt function. So let's say we will select max. I will show you the format, you can try it and at your own compiler. Okay, so let's say we select max of amount from table orders. So what it will give, it will the amount, the maximum amount which is present in this column amount from the table orders. If I want minimum amount, I will type minimum. If I want average of amount, I will type average. If I want sum of amount, I will type sum. Okay, now let's say there are order IDs. Okay, I want to see how many order IDs are present. So what I will write, see count it is taking. So I will type select count of order ID from orders. See how many count are coming? 5. Let's see if distinct clause is working or not. Yes, working. So let's say there might be possibility that these order IDs are getting repeated, right? So what I want only distinct order ID. So distinct order ID is also 5. That means all IDs present in this order ID are distinct only. Okay. So these are some function that I have told you. So also, have you ever heard of aliases name? So I will discuss this aliases name also. So let's say I want some data. See, this customer ID is there. Okay. So what are aliases? Let's select customer ID as ID. Okay. First name as name from customer table. Okay. Now if I run this query, can you see how the output is? It is giving me ID and name only. Okay, but the data present inside the customer table is first name and customer ID. So what are these as? These are nothing but aliases. Okay, where we are changing the name of the column present in the table according to our own requirement. Okay, so like these all are the basic things that I am discussing right now. So like very few things are remaining in these basics of SQL. After this we will move towards join. Okay, we will see what are joins, multiple types of joins are there, like inner join, left join, right join, full join, self join. Then we have union all these function, and we have a SQL stored procedures also. Okay, so here you can use some coding logics also in SQL stored procedures. Okay, we will see it in detail when we will go towards that topic. So after this, I will discuss all these joins also, and we will see like how we can perform joins on multiple tables when we have, like when you will give any, like have you ever participated in any hacker rank hackathon or hacker earth hackathon? Like in hacker earth, there are many companies which are directly hiring based on their hackathon that they are organizing on their websites only. So once you will give that exams, right, that hackathon, once you will give, you will find that most of the question of will be of joins only. Not most, in fact, all of the question will be of joins only. So there they will give you, like when I used to give my exams in my like earlier days, they used to give like three tables. Most of the time I got three table joins for like fetching data. So they will give you a problem statement and they will give you three tables. So then you have to perform the joins and all. For those who are like targeting data analytics and business analytics field, they will be given some task in that BI tool also for visualization purpose. So for those who are trying to like targeting that data analytics or business analytics field, so they must learn any BI tool also. Any tool you want to learn, let's say Power BI or Tableau. So Tableau and Power BI are the most like popular tools that are used widely across the industry. Okay, so try to at least learn Power BI, because Power BI is like free for all, and the second is thing is it is easily available to us, and the lectures of it are also easily available. So I will discuss some basics of visualization also once I will once I will finish this SQL and Python. I will go towards some data visualization also. So I will not show you like how we can visualize, but I will give you like how to take insights from visualization. The main thing that you will like perform when you are working. If you are working, you already might be aware of, and for those who are freshers, they will see that later on. So start practicing these things. Okay, keep practicing these things, and install SQL Workbench also, or find some good compiler also. Okay, online also there are many compiler existing. So and keep practicing this, and we will see the next topic in our next class. Okay, so have a good day, and please do subscribe and like my channel. Okay, don't forget to subscribe. Please support us since we are a small channel. Thanks a lot.